this episode of Open Homes Australia.
I visit a house in Noosa that has heads turning. The facade hits you in the face, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely unique.
Bessie enters a designer's dream home in Melbourne.
The detail in this house is exquisite.
We take a tour of a tropical-inspired garden designed and built by Dave Franklin.
This was just basically a pile of sand here.
And I take in the panorama of the Byron Bay hinterland in a house that's both ancient and modern. Come with us as we step inside. Welcome to Open Homes Australia.
We've scoured the nation to bring you some of Australia's most inspiring homes and landscapes.
And we'll be revealing some insider design tips and tricks.
So whether you're into building, renovating or just love property, you won't want to miss a second of Open Homes Australia. First up, we head to Sunshine Beach, Noosa, just a 2-hour drive north of Brisbane. Noosa is one of Australia's premium holiday destinations, with its surf, cafes and laid-back lifestyle. The house we're about to see perfectly captures the essence of resort-style living. This is not your average beach house. Dreamt up by renowned resort-style designer Chris Clout, the street presence is certainly memorable. And stepping in, it's hard to see what's inside and what's outside. G'day Chris, how are you?
Yeah, Michael, good to see you.
Yeah, you
Welcome
too, mate.
to the Sunshine Villa.
Oh, mate, I've got to say, you've got my attention. The facade hits you in the face, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely unique. Come and check it out. Let's go. Let's have a look.
Wow. How are those ceilings? It's like I'm just stepping straight into a resort.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't think you're at Sunshine Beach when you're in here. It feels like you're in Bali or Thailand.
Was that your design brief?
Yeah, I wanted the clients to feel like they were overseas on holidays.
Instantly you can feel the breeze sort of coming straight through the house, and I guess that's what you need in this type of climate.
Yeah, well, obviously, you know, not having 2 stories, you can really take advantage of the height limit, so that's what's nice with single story.
Being on a corner block, did that give you any sort of challenges, you know, in regards to the elevations that you had to design?
Yeah, well, the clients actually came to me before they were, you know, buying the land or looking for something, and, you know, I sort of spent time with them looking at certain spots, and I just said to them, if you can buy this one, I can do something special because it's not your normal block of land.
And looking from above, this is clear to see. The block is shaped like a slice of pizza, which gave Chris over 50 metres of street frontage to play with. It's split into pavilions, with the kitchen and living here and a separate master and ensuite here, connected by a walkway filled with tropical plants. The roof design responds to the block's orientation, opening up to the north but protecting the areas from the hot western sun. It catches the sea breeze and also gives the owners a feeling that every day is a holiday.
I'm not the homeowner, but I'm the homeowner's daughter. As a family from Mackay, we always used to come to Noosa for school holidays, and it had always been a dream of my parents to build a house in Noosa. They were never sure if they could afford it or when it would even be a possibility, but around 2 years ago, yeah, they finished construction here, so it was definitely a dream come true for my mum and dad. They wanted, you know, something that was perfect for the beach, something that suited this area, a home that was really open and, you know, you can feel the breeze in every part of this house. So they definitely had an idea of what they wanted, but they were very happy to put a lot of trust in Chris in terms of the design. They were really familiar with a lot of houses he had designed, so they knew his style, and they were very trustworthy with him to build something, you know, really unique.
The hardest part about building something this different is keeping it within the budget. It needed to be under $1 million. At one stage, it looked like the roof might have to be changed to bring down the costs, but Chris managed to find savings in other areas of the house and convinced the owner that the roof was integral to the whole design. Somehow, he managed to pull it off, and the house went on to win a national award for Best Residential Design under $1 million.
You know, I was bumped into the client down the road a few months ago, and he said, "Oh, I'm so happy, and I'm so glad you made us, you know, stick to that roof design and the whole concept of the house, because if we had to put a normal hit roof on it, it probably wouldn't have got the recognition through all the awards, and it's not going to have that sort of special home that's like, you know, there's not another one of these in town, but probably not another house like this in Australia, so it's unique to him, and that's what's good about it.
Well, Chris, this is definitely the place to be.
Yeah, it's a resort style and it's got that Asian influence, and you can tell from here with the pool and the feature roof and building in the background, it's the feature of the house.
Thanks for showing us through, really appreciate it.
No worries, hope you enjoyed it.
Mate, I think the only thing left is to grab a beer and sit by this pool.
Yeah, well, let's go get one.
Let's go do it. For a unique design such as this, the budget was quite surprising. Under $1 million may not be in everyone's ballpark, but the space and feeling of what's created here, with this budget, it's quite a feat. With this amazing roof, the wow factor is high, literally. The view from inside and from the street is one I certainly won't be forgetting soon.
Coming up, Bessie enters a designer's dream home in Melbourne. And later I take in the 360-degree views from this incredible home.
Here we are in Leafy Baldwin and we're about to check out a modern and beautiful home. I'm quite excited actually because we're about to meet my favourite designer, Georgia Ezra, and we'll say good day to her and the builder, Stephen.
Just from the street view alone, I can tell this house is special. The result of a collaboration between pros at the top of their game, this is a compact house that still manages to be open and even grand.
Holy moly, wow!
It's all in the design and execution, as Bessie finds out.
What a home. I'm absolutely blown away. The detail in this house is exquisite.
We really put in a lot of effort in the design team to have a beautiful layering of textures and materialities to create a really healthy emotional environment, so that when you walk in you feel something really special.
Now I know the owners of this home have ended up with a perfect product, but they also had a high attention to detail.
Yes. Lucas and Ivy, who are very good friends of both Stephen and mine, they really love design, and I think that we were very fortunate because they appreciated every effort and energy that we put into making this home so beautiful as it is.
So it's a small block. I noticed that when I came in. I love the rounded edges and I love how compact the block is, but this house feels huge.
Yeah.
So what is it?
Georgia probably knows better about feeling and outlay. But
I think it's just there's like this beautiful high ceilings, and you know the whole thing just opens up. The height of the open glass window and glazing throughout, it's really just gives this beautiful illusion that the space is larger than what it actually is.
And I can see behind you this beautiful oak tree in the view. Has this whole house been centred around that view?
definitely, yeah. Currently where we're standing is elevated and it's sitting on screw poles, which is designed not to impact on the tree's roots.
Designing and building houses in inner city areas always comes with challenges. Here, the first challenge was addressing the unusual triangle-shaped block, and the second was addressing this established tree.
The tree was both a constraint but also positive for this site. We had to work around the tree. We had to make sure the tree survived construction, but also the home enhanced the tree and the tree enhanced the home.
The solution provides form and function, with a striking curved facade and a widening at the back end that allows the living and kitchen areas to open up to the tree and let in the natural light.
The tree really influenced the levels that also exist on the property. We could build on the ground in certain areas, but in other areas we had to build up. So we're using that to our advantage again and giving the building different height in different areas.
Upstairs, the master bedroom and ensuite fit nicely into the curve.
Let's talk about that bathroom because I love the dark taps, I love your choice of tiles, and that bathtub is gorgeous, but I can imagine it was heavy.
It was very heavy, half a tonne exactly.
Stephen almost killed me. Oh my
Me
god.
and Georgia just ourselves trying to lift it up those stairs, but
How did it go down? Tell me everything.
no, it wasn't me and Georgia. We had help. We had about 6 blokes who literally physically just dragged it up here, more or less.
There are 4 bathrooms in this home, and for each of the bathrooms we specifically chose different tapware to complement the tiles.
Okay.
The tiles were chosen from our tile company, Tiles of Ezra.
Beautiful.
Every single thing that you see is specifically customized for this home, and there were certainly difficulties in installing them inside, so that's where Prava Developments came in and did it perfectly for us, and so my visions became a reality.
So where to from here? Where's Prava going next?
Prava's got a few projects on at the moment, a few high-end projects, one in South Yarra and another one in Ivanhoe, and we also got a large apartment project in Eltham.
Today, there's so many French provincial, there's so many Hampton-style homes. It's nice to have a modern home that's so unique.
Yeah, definitely. I think this street, every second or third house is a French provincial, and this house is definitely a breath of fresh air in the area.
It certainly is. It's great to see a modern design that still feels so homely. Coming in at around the $1.1 million mark, this compact house packs a lot in. And with the customisation and level of finishes, cost doesn't seem as important as the feeling this house has created. It's the kind of wow factor that grows.
Coming up, we get a VIP tour of this coastal/tropical garden designed and built by Dave Franklin. And Carleen heads to the hills of Byron Bay to see this house made from the earth. Drive an hour and a half east of Melbourne and you'll hit this coast. The Mornington Peninsula is an absolutely beautiful part of the country. It's no wonder that many Melbourne residents make the commute from here to the city, or if they're lucky enough, have a holiday home tucked away in the dunes.
My husband and I decided to build this ourselves, be owner builders. We've done it before, but this time we wanted to build what would be our dream home ourselves. The brief was all about entertaining and just being a place of relaxation and a place where we could come and chill out from our busy business life. One night we were watching The Block and it was Dee and Darren's reveal of the garden in South Yarra, and I turned and I said to my husband, just very, I thought it was a bit of a joke, gee, I'd love to get Dave to do our garden. And at that time, we just started to do the concrete, so the shell was in for the pool, and without me knowing, my husband contacted Dave and surprised me with a meeting down here, and that's how it all started.
Jason and Tanya, basically, they had this great idea of this house here. It's zoned in every area. Basically, all these areas overlook the pool. So the footprint was already there for us when we started the landscape, but the biggest thing is how do we make this area usable? This was just basically a pile of sand here. And the only way that we could do to make it usable was to platform the levels down towards the pool area. And obviously being on the embankment like this, that was probably one of the hardest parts in the design. It was all about creating space and level platforms.
The garden is more than I ever dreamed it would be. It was better than my original, I want a tropical paradise. It's a really beautiful place. You can see the garden from every room in the house, and because the path goes around the house, you can walk right around the property and you get every different aspect of the garden. You just take it in, it's beautiful.
It's coastal and you've got resort, and that's what you try to put them together. Normally don't really work, but as you can see, we wanted to get some colour as well at the same time. This is a big property, and on big properties, you've got to think outside the square that you're working in, and that's what we're trying to do. Try to create different layers, but still coastal and resort style. We've used a lot of poas here, a lot of lamandra, and they've basically used a lot of westringia as well at the same time. Now these, again, are really coastal plants. So we've got the cotton bush as well that's sitting right behind me that seems to be growing in abundance. And then we've got some formal plants as well, which we have got some Japanese maples and also got some Prunus nucitanica as well around here. So put all of those together, I think there's probably over about 50 different species, and I know there's over 1,000 plants here. One of the biggest features is that we actually have a track that goes all the way around the house. We've just created what they had called a dramatic granitic sand path, so it looks very coastal. Along the way, you see different features through here, and at the same time, the more that this grows, the more that the features are really coming out, and you're starting to see all the colours and the coastal colours that it gives you.
The family's favourite spot would have to be the pool house and the pool area, but my favourite spot is the grassy area and the concrete bench. That's where I like to have my coffee in the morning over there, just relaxing, and the dog runs around and I just get to sit in the nice quiet area, and that's my favourite spot.
Let's head to Perth to check in with interior design extraordinaire Natalie Bowen for some tips and tricks you can use in your own home.
Today we're going to be talking about how to get that seamless flow from inside outside. Nowadays, we actually want to be able to have a lifestyle that actually lives outside as well as inside. You know, we all want to have those beautiful looks, those beautiful rooms, what they call the indoor-outdoor room. So we're going to be able to show you how we can seamlessly bring those two together. Some ways that we can do that is by actually coordinating our cushions and coordinating our furniture. Here what we've done is we've used tones of blue and white, so we've actually continuously had that going from the front of the house right the way through to the back. And also coordinate your furniture that you're going to use in an alfresco area into a backyard deck, and then that way it will all flow and look really seamless.
Coming up, I take in the panorama of the Byron Bay hinterland in a house that's both ancient and modern. Now it's time to reveal this home in the Byron Bay hinterland. Sitting on over 100 square hectares of land that, believe it or not, used to be a gravel quarry, the house is an ode to its past, as I find out from the builder Paul and architect Dan. Well guys, this house just makes me want to pack my bags and move on in. It's beautiful. And the rammed earth is really the hero of this home, isn't it? Was that a big process in itself?
As you can see, it's in different layers, but a whole wall is done in one day.
It just makes you want to touch it. It looks so tactile, and it is so tactile. What was the idea behind it?
The site itself, which is a 100-acre farm, was also a gravel quarry for many decades. The main component of rammed earth walls is gravel. So there's a real story of the walls, you know, emerging out of the site here. It's a natural material. It has a really long lifespan. So from that point of view, its environmental credentials are very high.
It's actually so unique, but not in a quirky way. Like, it's something that looks like, to me, it would never date.
That's right. I mean, it's an ancient material. It's mainly gravel and rock and a bit of cement, and it's not a new idea. But we're using it here to good effect. We're using it consistently through the home. I always find with a material like this, if you do it consistently, you get a much stronger effect.
All the materials used are consistent throughout, and they all have a story to tell. Along with the rammed earth connecting the house to the land, the surrounding blackbutt forest inspired the second feature material. These earthy materials work well with the modern selections, like the soft grey 2-pack in the kitchen, the custom hidden flashes in the roofline that create sharp dramatic lines, along with the large porcelain tiles used throughout. Everything works together to deliver you to this amazing panorama of the surrounding mountains. Look at this view!
It's an amazing panorama. This is the ridge view, and the home's named Naringa Ridge View for that reason.
And I love a home where you can see all the way from the front right through to the back, where you have a football field, a tennis court, and a huge swimming pool.
That's right.
This landscaping alone would have been a massive job. Everything here is on a large scale, and for builders Paul and Cameron, the project was a huge challenge. But there are definitely perks of building in these parts as opposed to building in the city where these guys came from.
We're originally from the Sutherland Shire in Sydney, and then we had a business opportunity to come to Byron Bay, build 2 large houses. So we came out, built the 2 houses, and they were beautiful, and then we never went back. It's just too good up here. Building in Byron Bay, in the hinterland of Byron Bay, you have 360 degrees access. You don't have neighbours, you're not building on top of each other. The building process in terms of logistics, parking, everything like that is a whole lot easier. And you have site access, you have room to move. It's beautiful.
It's all in the blood for these guys. Both their fathers were builders and they learnt their craft working for them. When Cameron's dad passed away, they made the decision to continue the business and have gone on to build more amazing homes.
Last year we won Builder of the Year in Northern New South Wales. Part of that speech at the awards night, I made mention to my father because he's a big part of it. So it's really rewarding to be able to follow on his legacy.
It's the combined experience that shines through in builds like this and add to the story of the home.
The property is rammed earth coming out of the ground. Then we've got a black coloured layer, which represents the blackbutt forest which is behind us, and then a sharp roof which leads the eye off into the amazing panoramas that you have around you.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I am looking forward to coming back and seeing some more projects as amazing as this one. Although the price is undisclosed for this build, it's fair to point out that what you get here is hugely extensive compared to what you'd pay for something this size and detail in a major city. And with a location like this, it's no wonder more and more people are making the move north. The design is both grounded and dramatic, and I love how everything works together to tell a story of the past and the future.
Well, thanks for watching. We hope you found some inspiration looking through these incredible homes and gardens. We certainly did.
See you next time for more Open Homes Australia.